Gary Blevins, everyone.
As it turns out, I am the devil. Didn't know, but one day my best friend came to my house. We were 14 years old, and he sat down at my kitchen table with me, and my mother was in the room, and he said, "I'm not allowed to hang out with you anymore because my mom says that Gary Blevins is the devil." And I knew his mother, and I knew she was crazy, right? So I kind of laughed at it, and like, good luck telling a 14-year-old who they can hang out with or not hang out with, right? Because we go to the same school, we get on the same bus every day, he lived a block away. But the look on my mother's face stayed with me for a long time, because when you tell somebody that their kid can't hang out with your kid, it's a judgment on your whole house, right? Now, I had been friends with Matt for years before that, and I had been to his church with his mother, driving us to his church, and Tuesday night, teen things, and Sunday morning, and we even went on a 10-day missionary trip to Canada, which I have many regrets from. It's another story entirely. But apparently, I wasn't Christian enough for them, and neither was my house. And so, the effect this had on my mom really surprised me. So, it didn't matter that much to me because I just kept hanging out with Matt, right? No big deal. And so we'd go to school and all of that, and then about 6 months later, it's spring in Wisconsin, it's March, and Matt decided in all of his wisdom to run away from his parents' house and to escape the craziness that was there. And of course, where did he go? He came to me, right? He came to my house. I was a block away, and I happened to be taking the recycling out that morning at 6 o'clock into pitch black, because it's Wisconsin in March at 6 a.m. It's dark outside. I take the recycling, I put it in the garage. He comes out of the darkness and scared the crap out of me. I almost hit him with the recycling, in fact. And he says, "I can't take it anymore, I'm running away." And I said, okay. I don't know what you clearly have thought this out. He's got a backpack that's got some clothes and some snack bars and something else, right? He's thought this out about as far as a 14-year-old normally thinks out these kind of things. But he says, "Don't tell anybody I'm here." I said, "Okay, whatever." And so, but it's a school day, right? It's like a Tuesday. So he is in my garage, and I go back inside, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to get ready for school, because I've got to go to school, otherwise everyone's going to know that something's up. And 15 minutes later, phone rings, and it's Matt's mom, Linda, wanting to know if we know where Matt is. And my mom had been the one to answer the phone, and she turned to me and she said, "Do you know where Matt is?" And I said, "No. No, I don't know where he is." And she said, "No, Linda, we don't know where he is. Is there something going on?" And, well, some of his stuff is gone and we're not sure what's going on. So they decide that they're going to come over. So they're in my front door 15 minutes after the phone call. And apparently they had been dressed for work. They apparently had office jobs, because she's in like a skirt and kind of low-rise heels and a business blouse, and he's dressed professionally as well. And they're looking around. They're not like snooping around the house or whatever, but they're like walking around the yard. They walk into the garage where Matt is now hiding, and he has moved into the eave of the garage, like where our Christmas decorations and shit is, right? So he's up there, and they're like walking around looking for him. And they're like, "Well, can you take us to places where he might be?" And I said, "Sure. Why not?" So they call me out of school for the day, and I get in their car, and my mom stays at the house, and I get in the car with them, and off we go. And so we go to this park, we go to that park, and I'm in the car, and they're driving around, and we go out to Lake Michigan, and we kind of run up and down Lake Michigan, and we're at this for like 3 hours. And I said, "There's a pizza place that we go to, and it's about lunch." so they said, okay, well, let's go look over there. So we go in there, and it's like lunch, and I had skipped breakfast because we're running out the door to do this. So I said, well, I'm going to get a slice of pizza. I'm 14 years old. I don't have money, right? And so I said, I'm going to get a slice of pizza, and they don't pay for it, right? So I find the money in my pocket from my allowance, and I pay for my own pizza and drink so that we can continue to look for their kid after they've said all this about me. Okay, so if I was having any like guilt pangs at that point, that shit was gone, right? I was done, right? And the whole time she's, they're not worried, right? Like if my kid was missing, like I would be worried. Right? What would, and trying to figure out like why they did this and where did they go and how do we get them back and what do we need to do differently so this doesn't happen again. None of that is happening, right? What's happening is he's going to get it, or how could he be so stupid? And like just really, I'm a 14 and I don't have, but I knew, right? Like it was wrong. So they're like, well, is there any place else you could go? And I thought, okay, well, there's a place that's a trestle. It's like a train bridge that we used to go to. It's like a quarter mile off the road behind this park, and it's where a lot of teenagers would go and hang out. It's like something from the movie Stand By Me, where it's like a train bridge. Again, they're in business clothes. And we pull up to this park, and I say, well, you got to get on the railroad tracks and then walk. It's probably a quarter to a third of a mile down this railroad track on the gravel. She fell twice, and I helped her up the second time, and we made it all the way to the trestle. Lo and behold, Matt's not there. Who would have guessed? He's still in my garage. So we finally get back to our home, and it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock. It's starting to get dark again, and Matt is standing in the driveway when we pull up. And they look, and they see him, and Matt looks at me and says, thank you. And everyone there figures out immediately that I knew from jump that he was in the garage. And I've been driving him around for the last 9 hours. And she looked at me with this rage, and she screamed at me, why would you do that? Why would you take us all over town when you knew he was here the whole time? And I said, Linda, don't you know? I'm the devil. Thank you.